Hi everyone, Ewan Tavakuli is here coming to you from Zurich, Switzerland. I am Switzerland's leading business and brand protection lawyer, business advisor, providing business owners with the right legal documents and contracts, risk mitigation strategies, and alternative dispute resolution tools and methods to help them protect and grow their businesses. And guess who is here with me today? Vincent Dowd. I have the honor to be here with you.
So good to see you.
Thank you so much, Vincent, for your time and for being here and to be open to share this discussion with me.
Absolutely.
Vincent Dowd is the founder of Authentic Elevation, and he is an international wealth strategist coming from the financial market, stock and option trading life. So that's a life full of stress, full of risk, and now you have turned out to be internal wealth strategist. This is such a big contradiction and at the same time such a great connection and link to talk to a person like this going through such a shift in life. So Vincent, tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, well, Authentic Elevation, actually I started that this year after spending 25 years traveling around the world teaching people financial literacy. And what I found, Ewan, was a lot of people come and they want to learn strategies on wealth creation, or maybe some kind of a business, some kind of a investment structuring. And everybody wants strategy. The problem comes oftentimes when they learn strategy, but then they go out and they sabotage themselves. And what I found was the reason for this is because the way that we perceive ourselves internally, the way that we look at ourselves internally, actually is projected outward. So even if you have the right strategies, if you don't have the right alignment inside of you, if you're not set up to be wealthy, and the inner part of yourself, you're actually going to sabotage yourself. Mm-hmm. So I felt like before you actually go out and learn a bunch of strategies, it's better to really get your alignment inside from the internal dimensions. And once you have that working and you have flow, happiness, joy, wealth inside, then outside becomes much easier.
Wow, what a great connection actually, and what a great strategy to have the alignment. Because I think most of us sometimes have the challenge of having a purpose, having an idea, but not really knowing what would that be once we start implementing it? Would that also please us or satisfy us with the outcome? Or would that also lead to the right results that we want for our clients or for our audience? So I think this is a great path to create the connection between the internal and external, circumstances.
Absolutely.
Having the strategy from inside. So, but from your perspective, I mean, you have lived a life of a financial literacy specialist as well, having been into the financial sector, all the world of interests and risks and fund and losses. I would like to know from you a definition of risk, because there are so many definitions of risk, but from a person who has been into that world, which risk belongs to it on a 24/7 basis. So for me now, as a lawyer, helping business owners mitigate their risks with the right strategies, I want you to share the right definition of risk from your expertise and experience, please.
Sure. Well, risk to me, when I look at risk, I always think the fact that there's two levels. Number one, we can look at the risk external to us that we don't know yet. For example, if you're starting a business, or if you're in the stock market, or if you're buying real estate, we always think that there's risk to doing that, and there is. But there's also risk to not doing that. And that's the thing I think people forget, is by not taking the action on the business or the investments, you're actually taking a big risk of where you're going to be by not taking action.
Losing the opportunity.
Losing the opportunity. So the loss of opportunity risk, and then there's real risk, which is when you're taking action and what potentially you could lose financially or in time. So when I learned to trade the stock market and trade options were created specifically to limit risk. So when most people think of options, they think of the fact that, those are risky because they're time sensitive.
Yeah.
A stock you can buy and hold it forever, provided the company stays around, but the option has a time premium. So it eventually, like an ice cube, will melt away. Yeah. But the power with that is you can limit your amount invested to the option price, which is a leveraged price based on the stock. And as long as you understand your time, you can actually maximize your profits or reduce risk on the stock. So the way I look at risk is it's what you don't know that causes the risk. So when you really have the knowledge And this is what it is. Anybody can limit risk if they just learn what it is around the
challenge.
outcome, the challenge. Because if we don't have risk, we go into it blindly, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
So when I first started trading the stock market, the worst thing I did is I had 2 or 3 wins right away. And I thought, I'm a genius.
Let's be comfortable.
I'm a genius. Everything's going to work. So then I went in bigger, and then I lost a lot of money.
Oh.
So learning how to mitigate risk was really important, to not go in thinking that I'm always going to win.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think when you win too early, it's a bad thing.
Yes.
Because you get an ego.
Yes, I have the experience. I can talk from real life experience.
Oh, me too.
That's you get suddenly too comfortable and too proud of yourself, which is sometimes a nice, satisfactory feeling, but it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm now trying also to convey to my clients or to my audience is to think long term.
Absolutely.
To have strategies, because it is not good not to take action or to wait too long. I'm rather not the man of, but the woman of action. So I just go for it. I have almost fear of nothing, but I am also a thinker and I'm a planner. So, which has been also a process for me to learn it. Because most of all, we think, yes, when we are a man of action, so let's just go for it and not thinking or not evaluating the circumstances. But having started also the business as international advisor and lawyer, it made me also more responsible even, because it was not only my circumstances, but also owing that to my clients who are relying on me towards a certain result. So to just telling them how we can strategize all of those, or how we can acquire the knowledge to mitigate those risks. I mean, you know that world much better than everybody else, because in that world of financial sector and trading, people can wake up the next day and they are ruined.
Yes.
Or they are millionaires.
That's true.
So with all the experiences that you have acquired by now, not only experiences, also the knowledge, because I respect and like you as a man with full of knowledge. You have read so much. You've been through so much challenges in life and so many different stages of life. Also like career, because I know that also myself. I had the kind of zigzag career, but that make us actually mature enough and rich to understand how we start planning, or how would we have planned if we go back to that stage of life of 20 or 30 years ago. I'm not talking about turning back time or living in the past, but I'm talking about sometimes bouncing back to that age or to that stage of life, and how we can give something back to those who might be in the same stage now, so that we provide value for them. What would you advise to business owners who are considering shifting their businesses, changing their businesses, or they just quit and start something new, how they should learn also this risk mitigation literacy or maturity?
Yeah. So, Eamon, what I'd say is that the biggest issue that people have is the lack of knowledge. And therefore, when people try to save money by saying, I don't want to hire an expert, I don't want to bring somebody in because it'll save me money, that can actually be the biggest expense and the biggest risk they take. I remember early on starting some businesses, and I didn't spend the money to get experts, to get people like you who are attorneys that could come in and help structure the right way to do it. And I ended up losing a lot of money. In fact, there's one case where I trusted a gentleman who was a mentor, supposed to be a phenomenal trader on the stock market. And because I trusted him and I went in blindly, he ended up taking $150,000 of my money. If I would have done it right, I would have had somebody like you come in and create a contract, create some kind of a structured system that I know that if he doesn't fulfill, I'm not going to lose the money. And I'm not saying that's the end all be all, because who knows what actually happens in the system or courts, but I know it would give me a lot better scenario of potentially getting that money back. So today I know that anytime I'm going to put my money into something, I need to bring in experts on the areas I don't know. I don't know law. You know law. Same with real estate. I bring somebody in, I want them to look at the property, I want them to look at every aspect, because I'm looking for what's the worst that can happen.
Yes.
When I lost my money in the stock market, for example, years ago, I didn't look that way. I said, I can make money. I was focused on the upside, but not the downside. So after that, it was a blessing, because losing the money made me realize going forward, I'm going to start looking for the worst case that can happen.
Yes. Yes.
Not that I want it, but I want to be prepared.
To start from that, do the due diligence and reverse engineer the worst case.
Absolutely.
So that you create the right strategy, right?
Yeah.
So I think once we get a bit older, I'm not saying older, but wiser and more mature, it's the joke between us,
Yes,
no
yes.
problem. So that we can still go back to those stages in life and recreate or reverse engineer those strategies or the mistakes that we have made, just combining it with the experience and the expertise that we have acquired by now, and then make a system or a tool and a method which is reliable, accessible, and understandable for our clients or our people around us, because that's why also we use the impact or the power of public speaking.
Absolutely.
So to convey our message to as many people as possible and not just keep it for ourselves or the certain one-on-one client. So this is about adding value. So if you allow me, I would like to shift to a very last stage, because as you introduced yourself also as internal wealth strategist and founder of the beautiful authentic elevation, excuse me for that. So you made this shift to the internal side. I don't say not everybody else is doing that, or we don't want to put the blame on other business owners or entrepreneurs, but it is being overlooked too often. In the very high pace of the today's digitalization, globalization, everything is automated, people are online all the time, so data are everywhere, there is no privacy anymore, and this tough competition to move forward, you made this bounce back from the financial sector to internal aspects of life.
Yes.
And now you are creating a system to help other people also get closer or get attached to their internal wealth.
Yes.
Because as you mentioned very nicely, everything starts actually from inside.
Yes.
Once we are wealthy from inside, then the money will chase us instead of the other way around. So what is your advice for today's entrepreneurs in this very fast pace of digitalization, automation, and globalization? How they can reconnect and also reconsider and treat also internally, that they can also take care about their emotional side and their internal side while they're getting sometimes too busy running or taking care of their business.
Yeah. I think what it comes down to is human beings just naturally have learned to go external, looking for their happiness, their relationships, their health. And what I found, I did this for most of my life, looking for my happiness, looking for answers out there, thinking if I got that house or I got that car, this status, I'm going to be successful and I'm going to feel better. I'm going to feel amazing and I'll be somebody that I want to be. But what I found is in getting those things that it didn't change much in me. Then I want something new.
Yes.
And there's always this search for more. And that's the universe expansion. That's just part of what we are. But I realized that when I lost that, I also had pain. Now I'm like, I have a loss. So I had a time where I lost pretty much all my money in the stock market. Sorry, not in the stock market, but in the financial collapse, in the real estate market. And on that journey, I went through yoga and yoga nidra, and I started to learn the inner dimensions of what we are. And what I discovered was, I am the value, you are the value, everybody is the internal wealth. And once we go inside and we learn how to master our internal dimensions, lower our stress, have this peace and this stillness from inside, then we're in a calm place where then whatever we execute externally in business or in trading or in real estate, we're doing it from a place that's calm, that it's not worried about whether we're going to win or lose, because those are both kind of two ends of duality. And it's just knowing that when I operate right in the world, when I give value to others, I never lose.
Okay, exactly.
And that's what it's about. And when you have that feeling, listen, money's going to come through your life, success, but also you will lose money. No matter what you do, you can't control it. So you got to be okay with whatever happens. And that, when you have that, there's nothing like it.
Wow. Being open for whatever is coming to you while also getting prepared and also developing and implementing the right strategies. So
Absolutely.
Once you have done your homework or once you appear to the exam well prepared, actually you are not scared of the failure, because even if you fail, so-called fail, you have done your best, and you can never control all the external circumstances. But once you are internally satisfied, so that's what you can also convey to the world, right?
Well, I think that the key thing you said there is once you failure, I think what we have to do is we have to reframe our
meaning,
words.
the perception.
So what if we never fail? What if everything I do succeeds and everything I do serves me? What if it serves your client? What if it serves you? I can never fail, but I will have some losses, but that's okay. We're losing and gaining, losing and gaining. But it's just understanding that if this happens a certain way and it was out of my expectation, that's fine, because it's teaching me for the next lesson. And you just start to find the joy in every minute of life instead of thinking, once I have that, I'll be joyful.
Beautiful. Just closing this with this amazing statement. I'm very pleased that we found this opportunity and this time today to talk to my amazing friend, the great speaker, cool business owner, financial expert, internal wealth strategist. What else I can tell to you? I'm very happy that we found this opportunity today, and I hope you could also get as much value as I got. And it was a great pleasure, Vince.
It's wonderful to see you again.
I wish you a beautiful remaining of stay in Zurich and for your remaining traveling time around the world. Show me your hat.
Thank you. And I want to say to any clients, she's amazing. So definitely use her skills. She's somebody you want in your corner. Everyone is light. And by the way,
thank you.
I bring the hat for you.
That's the financial market back to the 50s and 60s.